Want to give it a couple minutes, Jay, or?
Yeah, let's give it like maybe 2 more minutes.
Okay.
It's good to see everybody. If those that are brave enough to turn their cameras on, I'd love to see the community. It's okay if your hair's not nice. Not nice, it's good. I got sweatpants on.
Just shave your head like me. You got to worry about it.
Very cool. Good to see everybody tonight. All right. So we'll probably give it 1 more minute and then we'll get started. We've got a lot of really cool things to kind of go through. So really excited to see everybody. Look at that. All right.
Pretty good turnout so far.
We're gonna be recording the session. So anybody that misses it, you'll have a chance to review the recording. So Bronze is going to help make sure that I don't rant for too long. Otherwise, this will be a 2-hour meeting.
It doesn't really ever work, but I'll try.
Just, I want to give you a job.
Appreciate that.
If we say pineapple, that means you're done with 5 minutes over.
What's your safe word? What's the safe word?
But I can't help it because sometimes I feel it in my soul,
Yeah, and I love it.
I gotta
feel it. I'll try, but I'm not gonna stop you.
It's funny. I met with a community, like a creator community manager at LinkedIn. I was able to kind of network my way into the program, which is why you'll see I'm going to be doing a lot of like audio events on LinkedIn. So there's only like 300 people that have access to audio events because it's like a brand new beta feature for LinkedIn. But I networked my way in there, and every time I talk to one of them, they make the mistake of asking me questions because then they get it all. Like, let me tell you about LinkedIn.
We could talk about that more. We'll let you have at it. We'll get started. It's 3:03. So welcome everybody, and thanks for joining us at the town hall. We're going to try to do these every month for the Mentor Mesh community. Talk about a few different things. So thank you for giving us an hour or so, depending on how long Jay rants, but about an hour. So we'll go over a few things that's just kind of going on in the community. We're trying to be more active in the community and be more face showing, and try to get the events rolling a little bit more. It's a nonprofit space, as you know. We don't make any money off of this, so it's just us giving our time. There's a lot of people in the community that just give their time and they volunteer. So we'd like to thank all of you, with all the new members and those showing up and helping others out and answering when you can. We see that, Jay sees it, and we appreciate all of that. So thank you for supporting us in that way and supporting in these events also. Today, for about an hour, a little over an hour, so we'll talk about a few things. So one of the things we'll look at first is kind of what is Mentor Mesh. So some are newish to it. What do we do here? What's the point? What can you get out of it? How can we make it a little bit better for you? We'll also look at January, kind of in a review. We'll mix that with some things that are happening into the future, some new things that might be on the forefront that we'll talk about a little bit. Jay will talk a little bit about some of the things happening with Twitter, LinkedIn, and things, how that can correlate with the Mentor Mesh community, also with the Accelerator. We have an Accelerator program going on, as you know. It's the first month that we just finished, month or so that we just finished. It's been going pretty good. So we'll have our winners for the month. So we have different winners and different criteria for those winners. So they will get announced. We also have some speaking about some just internal basic wins or career wins that they had, small or big. So when you guys listen to them, think about little wins that you had that Mentor Mesh may have helped you with. And then you can reach out to us if you'd like to share those also. Then we have some community events also happening, and we'll just kind of go over those. And some of the people that lead those or part of those will speak on those also. And then after that, we'll maybe have a question and answer. And if there's enough to facilitate maybe a networking event, we'll have some breakout rooms and we can kind of speak on it. But first, we'll have Jay first talk to us about Mentor Mesh in the community. So if you're new or if you've been in for a while and you're like, what else can I do to level up a little bit? And Mentor Mesh, Jay will help us out with that.
Cool. Thank you, Bronze, for kicking us off. So real quick, I don't know if people have noticed, but we've got about over 3,000 members in Mentor Mesh today. 700 of those came in January. So quite a bit of growth. And so a lot of people potentially that are here are brand new. So there are going to be people that have no idea like how to engage. I've already had people reach out to me and they're like, this is great. But then they're like, what do I do? You know, how do I engage? So totally understand that. So let's backtrack real quick. So I started Mentor Mesh about a year and a half ago, a little bit more than that, because as I kind of observed my own career, I've been in tech for about 17 years. And I thought about, well, what do I want to do for the next 17-ish years of my career? And I started to think about all of my history. And I started to think about, I've actually been able to accomplish a lot of things that I didn't even think at the time that were probably pretty difficult. And I was able to get to places that most people, even myself, didn't realize was possible. And so I thought about sharing that. And so I volunteered. I was like, hey, I'll give some one-on-ones if anybody wants some mentorship. I shared a post on LinkedIn, and then I shared a post on Facebook. And I got about 500 replies. And I thought, wow, okay, so this is a problem. Like nobody has anyone to talk to. Nobody has mentorship. And so this is what started mentormesh.io, because I started to think, okay, how can I help solve the community, the mentorship problem with community? And as I conducted over the last year and a half plus, almost 2 years, I probably had at least 1,000 one-on-ones or group sessions with people. And what's interesting is that most people, even though they want personal one-on-one mentorship, everyone asks the same 10 to 12 questions, if that many. It's probably like 6 or 7 questions. And so I found myself answering the same thing kind of over and over again. And so this is why I started creating content. I started trying to share that content. I share more on LinkedIn. But this is how Mentor Mesh was born. And I started to think more about what was the community that I wish that I had throughout my career. As many of you know, I spent 10 years in Washington state government trying to prove to a system that didn't want me that I could do more. And, this is really not a negative against government. I think a lot of organizations tend to be this way, where if you don't hit a certain credential or a certain mark, they don't consider you. And when that happened to me, that's when I became an entrepreneur. So I started my own company, and that kind of what skyrocketed the rest of my career. And as I started to pay attention and become a hiring manager myself, I started to pay attention to the actual patterns that people do when they hire. And so this is where, my personal story and mentorship comes in, and I want to share that with the community. But I think the important part about this is that mentorship is not necessarily a one-on-one conversation. I think it's a many-to-many conversation. I have never had a mentor, but I've had many specific and impactful conversations with several people. And those conversations had a material impact on my career. And if those, and many of them are the reason why I am where I am. And so for me, I've seen the value of sharing your knowledge. And by sharing and giving and creating community, building community, that's how you up-level your career. Now, and even on a personal note, like I've been spending a lot of time purposefully networking with product managers at LinkedIn, because I feel like absolutely LinkedIn is the most powerful business networking platform on the planet, but there are a subset of features that are not there, like networking features. If you wanted to meet someone, how do you do that on LinkedIn? There's an amazing community there, but how do you engage with that community? It's not obvious. People don't know how. They know you're there, right? So a lot of what we do in Mentor Mesh, to me, is around giving people opportunity to meet each other and to think about giving first. Because the mistake that a lot of people make in career development and networking is that they start reaching out from a very personal perspective. I need a job. I need something. Who can give it to me? right? That's where people naturally are because that's what they're thinking about. What I'm trying to do is change people's thoughts about this. Focus on building community. If you build community and you do it the right way and you care about other people first and you look for opportunities to help them, a couple of things are going to happen. Number one, you're going to have a support group that's going to be there for you when you need job transition. When you need help, you won't have to ask for it. They'll come to you. Inevitably, because of the economy or the way the world works, something is going to happen. You're going to need help. If you have people that are supporting you, it's a life changer. And then plus, especially like in the tech industry, trying to learn on your own and like bang your head against the wall and trying to figure stuff out, that's really, that's a frustrating and lonely experience that many of us, self-paced learning, that's what that feels like. That's not a great place to be. But if you can find yourself a community, if you can find yourself people that are on that same journey with you, which arguably most people in their professional career are, everyone wishes they had someone that they could rely on. And I would love to make that a community conversation. And that's what Mentor Mesh is all about. How do we bring people together? We are all on the same career journey together. We want better lives, better circumstances for our family, for ourselves. We want happiness. We want good culture. We want opportunity, right? If everyone wants those things and everyone focuses on up-leveling each other, then it can create a very strong and impactful community. So that's hopefully what this is going to be for you. So what I would encourage you to do is when you see events, come for the purpose of being seen yourself. Because remember, if you guys listen to anything that I say, half the problem is not your credentials. Half the problem is nobody knows who you are. It does not matter if you have all the skill and credentials in the world if hiring managers and teammates and your peers never see you. So come to be seen, come to be known. You know, again, like even from my story, when I started Mentor Mesh, I've doubled my income and had 3 job offers simply because of my LinkedIn posts. So show up on LinkedIn. Most people don't show up, which means it's your opportunity to be seen. So I want to leave you with that, but when you're in the community, participate in events, join the community activity feed, post there. If you got questions, you've got something to share, especially if you have something to share. Resources, you know of other events and other communities, please share those. Building community is going to be the most important thing that you can do. Comment on other people's posts, like their posts. It seems like a small thing, right? But take the time to go through and like people's posts. The reason you do that is because the person that posts, like all of us, feels a little insecure about that post. They're like, oh, is anybody even going to read this? Does anybody care? But if you just by simply taking a few seconds to like their posts, you are reaffirming to them that you do care, that you're on this journey with them and that they're not alone. And all of us need that. And if you want that, you need to give that first. So be active, participate, post, ask questions, support other people's posts. That creates community because believe it or not, we see you. We go look and see who's liked my post. And then you see all the people. These are the people that support me. When I'm on LinkedIn and I post something, and let's say I get a bunch of people that post, I go back and I look at every single person that liked my post because these are my people. These are the ones that care about my career enough to stop, pause, and say, I care about your post. I'm glad you wrote it. These are your people. So take the time and join someone's tribe. Like their posts, support their community. They're going to support yours. So please do that. Now, for people that are more active and they actually are on the platform a lot, we'll be granting moderator permissions. And once you get moderator permissions, you can create events yourself and you can post on the main feed. If you don't have moderator permissions, join the community activity feed and post there. That's essentially what that's for. But for those that really want to make a difference and really want to help the community, we'll see you and we'll definitely up-level your permissions and try to find opportunities for you to become more known in the community as somebody that's going to help.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks, Jay. Hopefully it helps some of you out. If you have any questions, ping us, let us know. Message us, Jay or myself or anybody else is kind of active and has moderator permissions already. But also, Jay, you're going to talk a little about what's going on in the Mentor Mesh community. So you've seen the Twitter spaces is kind of blowing up lately. Jay's got his hand on some LinkedIn stuff, which is kind of cool. Some Google stuff. So Jay's going to talk a little bit about what has kind of been happening, what we've been going through with that stuff, and maybe some things that might be on the forefront also.
Yeah. So I think the number one thing I would love for more people to be involved with is the LinkedIn audio events. So some people became a part of the Clubhouse phase, and some people are on Twitter Spaces. For those that actually spent the time to go learn in those events, to me, it's been one of the most engaging platform mediums that I have ever been in. Like, you go to these groups and it's like a live podcast. You have live speakers, some of which are super famous. Like, you'll have really popular people that are on there, and you get to listen to them live. They've got incredible advice. I have learned more on those audio spaces than on any platform that I've ever been on, period. So when Clubhouse first came out, that was amazing. So I'm so happy that LinkedIn is doing this, because a lot of the conversations that I would join, where they were all business, networking, career, how to be successful type rooms. And there were some really, really amazing information that I got there. So one of the things that I want to help personally, I want to help LinkedIn with, is they need more community and networking features. And one of the things that I'm trying to show them is the power of community. And one way is by showing them the power of the audio rooms, because I think they understand, obviously, that there is power there, but many of them didn't live on Clubhouse and Twitter Spaces like maybe some of us maybe have, right? So I'm going to do weekly events where I'm going to invite LinkedIn, I'm going to invite the community, and I want you to come and share your story. If you think about what is popular and what gets people's attention on LinkedIn, ultimately the views and getting known as a brand is consistency and authenticity. Don't be afraid to share your story, because there's going to be thousands of other people that have a similar story, and it will resonate with them, and it will help encourage them not to quit. It's so easy to quit when you're in a self-learning place. So if you can, join the audio spaces. Again, like it's kind of low stress. A lot of people get Zoom fatigue. You don't always want to turn your camera on. Well, with these audio events, like, it's like listening to a podcast. You don't even have to talk if you don't want to. And even if you do, there's no video. So, you know, your hair is messed up. You got your sweats on. It doesn't matter. You still sound professional. So you can fake it a little bit, and that's all right. So it's kind of a little bit less cognitive load. So I would encourage you to come. And if you're brave, and I'm saying this because literally for me, same thing. It's not easy, but you get used to it. Come up on stage. There's basically a way where you can come up on stage and speak to the audience. Introduce yourself, tell your story, tell your challenges. It's not just about the wins. You can talk about the losses. The losses are arguably more important, because those losses, that's growth. And people need to see and understand when other people are growing too, right? It's not just you that didn't get the job when you applied. It's not just you. All of us get rejected from jobs, but what matters is, how do you deal with that rejection? So let's build each other up. So LinkedIn audio events, Twitter Spaces. So you'll see Brennan has been doing product manager specific Twitter Spaces weekly. So you'll see those events. Attend those events, even if you're not a product manager. If you're a software engineer, you're going to work with product people. You will. There's going to be some product person that's going to bug you, but they're going to be coming in your face. I need this. I need that. It's so important as an engineering leader to understand why. Why am I building this? Why is it important? So even if you're not interested in product, try to show up for Twitter Spaces events with Brennan. It's a great opportunity to not only hear really good advice, but network and meet people. You'll start to see the same people, like talking, right? Contribute to the conversation. This is how you build community. One of the big things we're trying to do is to bring that Twitter audience to LinkedIn. LinkedIn is where you're going to get the job opportunities, but there's a whole ton of people on Twitter that don't realize that they could have fantastic careers. They have no idea that they are capable. And so we're trying to bring them over. And then also we have a JavaScript book club that Christine has been hosting for a long time. She's been very dedicated to that group, and that happens on Saturdays. So if you guys can take a moment, and if you're interested in JavaScript, and again, even if you're not, even if you're a product manager and you don't think you need to know, half of all of this is building relationships with people. The more you understand someone else's world, the easier it is to build a relationship with them. So take a minute to understand kind of what's happening. So there's a lot more events that other people are going to talk about, so I'll pause there. But if you can make time for the Twitter Spaces and the LinkedIn audio events, it's a great place to learn, meet people. It's totally worth it. Totally worth it.
Awesome. Jay, I might throw you under the bus here a little bit, but what's up with the Jay show? What's going on with that? You got a minute on that one?
Yes. So you are throwing me under the bus. I wasn't ready to talk about that.
More to come on that.
More to come. No, well, let's just put it this way. So
Jay
I've got
doesn't
a lot
have
of
all
things-
the answers. He's got most of them. That's all.
So I've got a lot that's coming there. Trust me that I do.
Very nice.
But what I'll say is there's a lot of really cool conversations I'm having right now. Really, like, it's sucking up a lot of my attention. But if I'm able to land this right, it's going to be a big deal. And so give me a few weeks and there might be some really cool stuff coming down the pipeline. We'll just put it that way.
We'll hold you to it. We'll check in with you in a couple of weeks. So very good. So we also at the Mentor Mesh, we like to hear about those that had some wins. So those wins sometimes might be a new job. They might be a raise, but a lot of the wins that we get is just it's internal stuff, right? You get a newfound confidence. You realize that posting on LinkedIn isn't horrible, whatever it is. And those things kind of pump you up. You might notice that joining Mentor Mesh, or if you have been through the Accelerator or something. So we have a couple of people that had some wins in January from, it could be something huge, but we really like to focus on the small ones too. There's something that gets you guys motivated to step one step further to where you want to be. So the first one we'd like to call up is Ebony Johnson. If you would like to speak on kind of what has been helping you stay motivated and then increasing your motivation to move forward in your career.
Yeah. Hey everybody. I am so glad to see all y'all here. So I'll be real brief, but I'm so glad I joined this community. I've had the pleasure of having one-on-ones with some really amazing people. And I look forward to, having one-on-ones with even more people in the group. But just in January alone, let's see. So I'll start off with saying I've so far interviewed and received 2 company rejections, right? Like 2 rejections, but I am also in the pipeline, like at least past second interview with like 4 other companies. After I got those rejections, I started feeling like, you know what, maybe I'm not as great as I thought I was. Like, maybe this is not something I'm supposed to be pursuing. Like, my confidence was killed one after the other. But I just had to make a conscious decision to only allow myself to mope for like half a day, because I needed to be ready for the next one. I needed to stay pepped up. I needed to stay motivated and prepared for the next interview. And people in this group were able to help me get there. With so many people pouring into me, one after the other, like giving me like, oh, this is what you can say. This is what you can do. Like, it would have been selfish for me. I had to think to myself, it would be selfish for me to give up. So I made a conscious decision not to. If I had been alone, like I think a lot of people are, it was a high chance that I might have given up and not even applied to anymore. Over Christmas break, I had people from Mentor Mesh community like reaching out and saying, hey, I'll do mock interviews with you. I've never done a mock interview before. And I'm not gonna lie, it was weird. Like pretending to talk to somebody that, it was weird, but it was awesome. Things that I never had to be prepared to say, word things the way I never had to be prepared to word them. It was very helpful. After every interview in the last 30 days, I feel like I've grown more and more confident in my abilities, just learning how to tell my story to interviewers. It feels like a lot of this is, it's an art. You may be good at your job, but to get the next job, you've got to be able to speak to your greatness. My LinkedIn profile, like there was a whole piece, like an assignment to do on optimizing our LinkedIn profile. I never really even paid attention to the banner that's at the top of your profile, but that was like a piece of making it great. Even down to making posts, we are tasked with getting out there and writing something to get people to engage with you. I have a lot of eyes on me now from just a few posts that I've done from some people in some major companies that I've, maybe I just tagged them and wrote something nice about them after I read something that they, an interview or something like that. And they're like, I see you, that matters. I wouldn't have thought to do that before. I have been in a lot of recruiter DMs. I have learned how to jump in these people DMs, tell them what I need to say, shoot my shot, and I'm getting a lot of responses. These interviews that I have coming up, I haven't applied to these jobs. I have a coffee chat with the recruiter, and then the recruiter is like, yeah, so this is a job number I think you're going to be great for. Go ahead and do the application tonight, and I'm going to send it to the hiring manager by next week. If I'd have just did an application, which I did one before, like to Pandora or something like that, and they got an auto rejection the next morning, I was so much more successful by reaching out to people and speaking to them. When people found out that that's what I was doing in the group, they were like, hey, show me how, like, what are you saying? I'm so excited to have people to share that with. Like being able to do mentorship in a sense on my own, like to be able to teach back. I go to these Clubhouse sessions. I am in these Twitter spaces. People know what my profile picture looks like and what my voice sounds like and what I'm trying to do. The moment I have something that I want to share with somebody, if they ask a question, if I feel like I have some value, I am excited to be able to come off mute real quick and share it with them. Those kind of things are extra motivating for myself. And I'm just going to end with saying, I hope this story inspires somebody here. I recommend that you find your tribe, whether it's Mentor Mesh or any other group. I think Mentor Mesh is pretty solid. But I'm going to be making a major career move soon. So I'm just ready to teach the rest of y'all, double my salary, and bring some more people with us.
Awesome, man. You getting us pumped up, Ebony. Thank you so much.
I want to say something real quick, Bronze. Sorry.
Yeah, no,
just because so this has happened to a number of people, and I'm so excited to hear your perspective and story, Ebony. But I really want to drill this point home for all those people out there that are applying for jobs and getting rejected. You are so close. And I know people don't look at it that way because you're like, oh, I got rejected. You made the interview. That's significant. What that means is, yeah, maybe it's 2 or 3 interviews away, but you are right there, right? This is not when you quit. This is when you double down on interviewing and you figure out how this game works. You are right there. And as you guys know about me, my first interview with Expedia, I got rejected hard because I didn't know what I was doing. I've been rejected by Amazon. I've been rejected by Facebook. I've been rejected by Google, right? If I would have quit, no, but guess what? I got jobs at Salesforce and Twitter. This is the way that it works. So there's been a number of people that I think over the last month have kind of told me about how they've been rejected. And I know it's so easy to internalize that, but you got to flip that around. This is practice because you're going to nail that big interview. You will nail that interview, but it's these appeared losses. That's your growth. That's what's going to make you say, I need to double down. You take that and you win because you're right. You're right there. And Ebony, you're right. You are going to double your salary this year.
Yeah. Awesome.
If I could kind of give my 2 cents. When I was preparing for my interview, Glassdoor has a great section that they compiled a bunch of interview questions from the position that you're trying to get to. There's pages of these interview questions that people actually put in. I spent the last, I don't even know, I knew my interview was coming up in 2 weeks. I just spent some time every day to go through these interview questions. Some of them are repetitive, but you kind of got to hear how people answered questions, and you also got to find out how they were asking them. So just wanted to say that.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. You check out Will's story too one day. And he has an AMA floating around somewhere. I got to get that thing popped up again. That one was inspirational. But thank you, Ebony, a ton for sure. That was awesome. We say often in this community, you've heard it before, but success is made of a bunch of failures, right? So nobody that's successful hasn't failed before. So you just got to get out there and do it. If you're not failing, you're not going anywhere, right? So yeah, it's awesome. And a lot that you said, Ebony, people are thinking, they just have a hard time saying it. So we really thank you for coming forward and doing that. We got one more speaker that'd like to speak on his wings, and I see him, he's ready to go. It's Boji. We'll give him up to the stage here. Yeah, how about it?
What's up, Bronze?
What's up?
Hey, team. Ebony, that's a hard act to follow, so I'll try my best. So happy tax season. I bet all y'all are getting your W-2s, 1099s, and I got to break the ice and say I have like 7 W-2s because your boy, like many of you, are evolving quicker than the economy. So, and I'm going to call out one W-2 because I met Jay right when I was about to quit government. I thought I had my dream job. I was working for the Chamber of Commerce in my town. I'm in a small town in Washington State. Won't name the town right now because I don't want to get in trouble. But I was like, Jay, I'm like over it. There's no tech enablement. And in government, that was my biggest red flag. It wasn't even about the people. It was like, I can't do my work without tech. So long story short, I like pivoted to software sales, but I always knew product management and development. I need to hang out with people who think in that way, because sales to me, it kind of speaks to what I hope we're all trying to do, which is make more money. So when Jay gave me that mentorship moment, it really was what I needed to hear, which is, join tech because you care about tech. So to hear that from Jay, I think is my biggest win. And that happened in November, Jay. So shout out to you. And then in that vein of thanking Jay, another win was like, how does sales connect with product? Because I think a lot of us here are, developers or have like a technical mind. And the thing is, we got to be a team, but I didn't know how that looked. And Jay said product marketing. So I think that's my biggest win, is to know which department I would personally as sales talk to. Is it directly with the developers? It's product marketing. So at my new role, I've been able to be friends with like our product marketer, hear how she thinks, keep in touch with the like news that she watches. Because if I went directly to the devs, it would have been hard. And that's what I think Jay kind of pointed me to, is like, meet this product marketer. They'll give you kind of the 101 on how to understand like tech big picture. So definitely shout out to that. Thank you, Jay. And then as far as the network here, I'm excited to meet all of you. I think part of the 2 meetings that I've had, it's cool to hear where people are at in their career. And again, I had 7 different jobs last year, and I'm just going to name a few so you can hear what they are. I hope if you are one of these, that if you're also pivoting toward tech, I'm with you. I was a bartender in Barback. My family runs a senior care home, so I manage that. I was a receptionist at an insurance agency. So shout out to insurance. I was a caseworker at a nonprofit that was population specific. I was a manager at a Chamber of Commerce, and then I was a student. So it was kind of like the student year. I felt like Barbie. Every week I was a different person. But all that to say is, where did tech fit in all of it? And I started to see the insurance agency still use photocopies. And I said, wait a minute, you are using technology from 1995, right? So I think that's my biggest win, is just double down on I love tech. And I think our generation, as we kind of look different, we are the middle generation with our parents who never knew technology. I kind of think this mentor mesh experience was like, I fucking love tech, excuse my French. And I hope you all do too, because it just makes life a lot more dynamic. And I think that's the biggest win, is I think all of us here are passionate about tech. And so I hope that in talking about career, we're also like learning how to build a better future together through tech, so we can address kind of the people stuff. But anyways, those are some of the wins. Was definitely Jay's touch on my career as I was evolving. It was learning how important tech is for me and finding a network that cares just as much about tech. And number 3 is just to like, tell your story. So yeah, those are some of the 3 bronze that I think that are worth sharing, is around those 3.
Awesome, man. When you speak too, I just get energized. I'm like, yeah, I don't know what it is. That's awesome. No, thank you for sharing. We appreciate it, man. We appreciate it. So a little golf clap for you there. Nice job. So
Golf clap.
Thank you, and Ebony. We appreciate it. So yeah, if you out there, you got little wins, did Mentor Mesh play a small part on it? Sometimes we get these wins, we forgot where they came from. So see, maybe you can think back and see if Mentor Mesh helped you out or somebody in the community helped you out. Let us know. We'd like to hear about it, and share would motivate other people. So next, what we got going on is we have some events that happen in the Mentor Mesh community. So we'll have a few speakers that are part of those events or are leading those events to talk on those, what's going on, maybe what's next, and how those are going. So first, we have the actual Mentor Mesh book club. You've probably seen some postings on that where Beth runs that. Beth couldn't be here today, but we have Davina that will talk a little bit on that. So Davina, step on up.
Hi, everyone. Thanks, Bronze. So like Bronze said, Beth Arnold actually runs our book club and has been since the beginning. I'm actually not sure, Eleni could probably help me, when it actually started. I know Beth started almost at Mentor Mesh's inception, but I missed, I think, the first book, or maybe the first two. But since then, I have been reading all the other books since. I missed Empowered. I believe, Jay, you were part of that when that one was going on. And other books we've read are, oh gosh, now I'm blank. Sorry, guys. We're reading Managing Humans right now by Michael Lopp. And we meet currently on Wednesday nights. We've met on Saturdays. We've met on Thursday nights. We get a poll together and see whenever we can meet. This book club for this book, Managing Humans, has been, I think, one of the biggest, or since I've joined, and it's so much fun. If you all aren't a part of it, even if you want to join now and haven't gotten the book or read the book, we pretty much will talk a little bit about the book, and then it's like a free-for-all hangout, talk about our weeks. It's just great to see everybody again each week, and just joining in the conversations. So feel free to message Beth Arnold or Eleni or myself. We can give you more information and on the books that we've read in the past. Also, just this book club it's been an inspiration to me. It's had a huge impact on myself. Just first of all, just getting me to read more. Just in general, I was not an avid reader growing up. Now I think I am becoming that. I've learned so much. I'm actually in web development and was in the program manager product manager Accelerator here in Mentor Mesh, and we read technical books, non-technical books, and just learning about other areas in tech through these books or through everybody that joins the book clubs has made a huge impact on myself and hopefully others being in these clubs. So, like I said, if you're not a part of the book club, I highly recommend it. All these groups, just to meet people and learn a ton. One other book, Crucial Conversations we read, huge impact, and just in general in knowing how to converse with others around you, even family members. I took a lot from that book, and I just can't tell you how awesome it is. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
awesome.
it.
Yeah, no, cool.
Sorry, I'm a horrible speaker.
No, that's wonderful. Beating yourself up. No, that was great. We appreciate you stepping in for Beth too. Yeah. I've been lingering around Mentor Mesh for a while. And one thing I always hear is that those book clubs, people love those book clubs. It's something about those book clubs really motivates them. And a lot of those wins come out of those book clubs. So I encourage you guys. We'll talk about another book club too. But next we have another event. So thank you. We appreciate it. Is the design challenge. You've probably seen some of those posts also. Nina is going to talk a little bit about that if she's here.
Yep, I'm here. Hey everyone, it's nice to see so many lovely faces. A lot of times I just see texts from people on the Slack channel or Mentor Mesh, but your profiles are so small. It's nice to see you guys live. So I just want to say hi, and also just quickly want to say that I met Davina and Eleni during one of those book club sessions with Beth. And I think what's really great about them is that they're very welcoming, and whether or not you had a chance to read the book yet or you're on the right chapter, you know, they make you feel included, and you know, they always want to hear what you have to say. So I think that's probably why it's so great. So I just wanted to put that out there. And now I'll quickly talk about the design challenge that Eleni and I crafted. So Eleni and I, we met back in July of last year through Mentor Mesh, and helped each other out. We're both user experience design students, and we were sharing resources and just talking about design, and slowly started to kind of formulate this idea for the design challenge, which was really to continue our growth in education and design, but also to kind of create this community outreach through practical application. And so the design challenge will now be in the third week. It runs for 6 weeks, and the participants in the sessions get an overview of the different stages of design and apply principles through a variety of tools and techniques that we provide for them as resources. The participants are assigned weekly tasks that ultimately culminate in the completion of a case study or just a presentation of the prototype. This challenge has created this welcome, cohesive, creative, and inquisitive community of tech-minded individuals who they work independently during the week, and then they come and collaborate during the Sunday sessions. And it's all to better their own individual personal growth and development, which has just been so exciting to see how everyone comes together and shares their status updates every week. And this cohort consists of participants from different levels of experience within the tech community, as well as pivoters and other professionals from the tech industry. We have an educator in there. We have at least one product and one project manager who are participating. And yeah, it's been an incredible opportunity and adventure to put it together with Eleni and to be a participant and to collaborate with everyone. It's just been really awesome. And I just want to give a shout out to Eleni because I couldn't have done it without her, and also to Beth and Davida and like everyone, and to Jay, of course, because that's basically the first person who was like, you need to come check out. So yeah, it's been really fun, and I think we'll do another one after this one is done. I don't know if we'll do another one right away, but definitely stay tuned, and we'll definitely be doing something else soon.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Sounds cool. I've heard good things about it. I'm not the artsy type, but maybe I should check it out too. So it sounds good. You got Eleni there, it's going to be a motivating time there on Sunday. So speaking of Eleni, she heads the Accelerator Book Club. So if you don't know what the Accelerator is, it's a program that Jay puts on, has some AMAs and a community-based, cohort-based networking type of program that helps people level up their careers quickly. And so we have different assignments and stuff like that. We'll talk about that a little bit more. But Eleni does the book club in the Accelerator, so she's going to talk on that a little bit.
Thanks, Bronze. So I'm Eleni, and I'm on the Mentor Mesh Accelerator support staff, and I've been on Mentor Mesh since November of 2020. And both the people that spoke before me have been like incredible members of the community. And I just want to reiterate what everybody, Nina and Divina, were talking about, how, and Bronze too, how such solid friendships, bonds are formed in these clubs, and just engaging together and talking together, and that a lot of wins do come from all these like small ways we invest in our growth. It's been incredible kicking off this year, organizing the Accelerator Book Club. We've been reading from Fraud to Freedom by Phyllis Derogue. And this book is about imposter syndrome. It's been super powerful connecting with each other on this topic. And we've been having lots of vulnerable conversations in the Accelerator Book Club as we talk about imposter syndrome. And I think it's been helping us all grow and like learn practical ways to like, change our habits so that we can feel more confident in ourselves and our growth and get on that path to success. Mainly we're working on getting out of our own selves ways, because I think often we can be, the worst barrier that we put in for ourselves. So we've had the pleasure of having Phyllis, the author herself, mentor us at each meeting and drop gems. And Phyllis is a member of the MentorMesh community. So just another win that she released her book this year from the community. And we're looking forward to reading through the rest of this book this month. And we're excited to keep reading books that'll help us grow personally and professionally. So yeah, just a shout out to just get involved how you can, doing activities together. Sometimes we worry about networking feeling stiff or forced, but I've found being involved in all the activities we just talked about has helped me form more genuine connections and bonds with people. And it makes it a lot easier to ask for help or advice. And yeah, just to make friends, keep it fun, keep it simple. And like Jay said, just giving time to people you want to know better is a great way to build a relationship. So thank you, Jay and Bronze.
Thank you, Lenny. We appreciate it. Thank you so much. Yeah, that book club's been nice. Got to participate in that. So that's been awesome. Well, thank you guys for letting us know about the events that are kind of going on. We might see some more posts about different things that are coming in the future also. So we talked a little bit about the Accelerator program. So in the Accelerator, there's different challenges and cohorts, and we work together, and it's a systematic approach to help people kind of level up on their careers. We try to iterate and change based off what works. So people can kind of tell you that it kind of changes. So we appreciate you guys bearing with us. But we have a winner each month, and that's kind of one of the reasons we have this town halls. We'd like to announce a couple of those winners. But before we announce them, we'll talk about what we look for the staff winning. The first one is consistency. So we look for someone that is consistent in their challenge deliveries, their status updates, the progress, that type of thing. Someone that consistently does the events week after week. And we also look at collaboration. It's another thing that we are closely monitoring. Authentically, we try to look at these things as someone who is active. They demonstrate by their comments or working with other people that they want to share what they're learning. Also someone that has consistent coffee chats, that shows up for them and attends with their peers. And also those that maybe show up to different events like book clubs. We also look at those that are showing growth. It doesn't have to be like super high up growth, but growth in the Accelerator in the community. You can see that by their content creation, whether it's on Twitter or LinkedIn. We look over those things, the different social networks, or just those that have commented or even have stepped out of their box a little bit and talked about how they're promoting their goals and trying to level up for themselves. So for the peer winner, which is the ones we put out a survey and the peers have voted, that winner for that one, I don't have her last name up here, but it's Sayer. So congratulations to Sayer. She won that for a peer. The peers voted for her.
Well deserved.
What's that?
Well deserved.
Yes. She was killing it. And then the staff, which goes more on those parameters that we look at. The winner for this month was Amber Falbo. So nice job, Amber. You're killing it out there too. We see you out there, so we thank you. We're just curious. You don't have to if you want to. We'll put you on the spot. If either one of you wants to say something.
Hi. Yeah, sure. I was really shy. I joined this program before I graduated my boot camp last May. I was really shy to talk to everybody. And then after I started to do that and go to more and more events, I really saw progress. Like I didn't think networking would do so much, but not only has it helped me make friends in the group, my confidence has skyrocketed. In January, I shared kind of my blocker of why I was nervous about being in program management, which I never thought I would, and on Twitter of all places. And the feedback was incredible. The support in this group has been unbelievable. This week, I've actually been sick and had a cat in the emergency room, and the amount of support from the group has been incredible. And the spaces you can still listen to while waiting for your kitty at the ER. So that helps. But I'll share something that is big is I have an interview at Microsoft. I don't think I would have gotten that without networking. It made me go to events. I went to summits. There's really great groups like Lesbian Who Tech and Tech Together that do other great events too, if you're a part of those communities or want to be or care about them. And I would have never been the person with my camera on at those events if not for the encouragement, I think, from this group. And because of that, I know that's why I got asked by a recruiter to apply. And I didn't just apply and get rejected. I mean, I did. I applied for hundreds. I had a TPM position last year, got laid off after a few months. The company had to lay off a bunch of people. So that was a little heartbreaking. I was like, I did it. Oh no, I didn't do it yet. But the network helps a lot and everybody's just been really supportive. So I'm thankful for that. I feel I make friends in this community. I'm in the accelerator, but anybody in Mentor Mesh, I mean, reach out to me if you want to just chat. My cats aren't in the view, but I'll usually have cats that you can meet. But yeah, I just appreciate this community a lot. So thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Amber. We appreciate it. We should have put you in the win section too. So appreciate that. Awesome. Sire, I know you want to say something. What do you got to say?
Yes. First, I'm kind of surprised. I was not expecting that I would win, but I just want to say that so many of you should also be here with me as the winner because I see so many of you growing in our Slack, on LinkedIn, in our personal one-on-one conversations, in the book club. So I hope me being nominated makes everybody feel like you're being nominated too, because we're a family and we're all growing and reaching our goals together. And so that's the most important thing I wanted to say. But I do also kind of want to share that because of this community, I think my biggest win, now that I'm put on the spot, is I am no longer afraid to be whoever I want to be. Not just from what kind of career I want to pursue, what kind of company I want to work for, what kind of salary I'm going after, but in general, just all of that together, plus anything I want to do to help other people, I finally feel limitless because of the connections and the encouragement and just the army behind me that are cheering me on. I see your face, I see Ebony, she and I sometimes text multiple times a day. I still feel ashamed that I haven't formally applied to any roles, but then every time she texts me and I'm like, all right, I gotta do this. I need to do this and I will do it. I see Amber, I see Jay, Jay has spent several hours with me just talking about, Jayco, just talking about, interviews and told me to stop worrying. Literally after our conversation, I wrote "stop worrying" on a sticky note and then stick it on my laptop to remind me. There's so many people that just, cheer me on. And I think I truly recognize that I am my biggest enemy through all of this. And having a family and having people who believe in you and who can tell you what you're capable of and who believe that you're already there before you think you're there has been so powerful. So I just wanted to say thank you for all of you. And I want to be that person for other people as well. And I've been, trying to be that person in our one-on-ones online and in the group chat to tell you that you can do it, you can go for that job, and you can go for that level of product manager positions or whatever you want to be. The difference between who you are today and who you want to be is really just the action that you get to take. And having that belief in yourself is the number one. It's the hardest step, but once you're over that, everything else becomes easier, because rejection is going to be in the way, like difficulty is going to be in the way, but accepting that that's part of the journey makes it so much easier. So thank you for all of you. And if there's any way I can connect with you to support you, if there's anything, any feedback you have for me as to what kind of content I create to help the community, if I can do a one-on-one with you, please reach out. I would love to help you any way possible.
Awesome. Thank you. And congratulations for that. So we're going to see if Jay has anything to say on that and what they might win. We have different options for that, and we'll probably discuss that more with you, but what their winnings are when they win for that month. But before Jay speaks, I'll just say there were some honorable mentions. We had Colleen Tolley, Will Fang, and then Toby also. So there's some other ones you see out there too. They're out there. So we see that and we list them on there, but yeah, reach out to them too. They're killing it out there also. So if Jay, if you want to speak to what we look for in that, in those wins, or what they might get out of this as a winner.
Yeah. When I think about what's most important, it's funny, like I thought about, should I create a data boot camp? Should I do this and that? And those things can be valuable, but hands down, please believe building quality relationships is the number one thing you can do to advance your career, period. There is no number two. That is number one. So for me, what I found as we ran these accelerator programs is people need targets. We need goals. We need reasons. I'm like that too. Like when I want to work out, I can't just work out because I want to work out. I need to know that there's going to be a vacation in 2 months that I'm preparing for. I need that. That's why we do the challenges. It's really just a structure to help people hit a target, right? So the people that win, and again, I'm glad that you mentioned there's more than just Sayer and Amber. There were so many people that did so well. So it was a really hard decision. But those winners, what I'm going to personally do is promotion. I'm going to help you meet more people. You tell me what companies you want to work for. You tell me the type of people you want to meet, and I'm going to connect you with those people. These are people within my network, or if they're not, I'm going to go get them, right? And I'm going to help you build those relationships, because at the end of the day, this is about career growth. And the more people you know that you build relationships with, you have to believe me that those opportunities will be open to you. They will. That is how this works. If you focus on community, you focus on relationships, you focus on lifting other people up, you will be given opportunities. Many of the jobs even that I've had didn't even exist. People made for me. Every big tech company or whatever company you want to work for, they have money. So it's not about like, do they have funding? Is there a role? People get really caught in that. Like, I need to apply. They can make a role for you, right? So build strong community. So for a lot of these winners, what I'm trying to do is find those people that you can really tell that they really want growth. They really, really do. And I'm going to do everything in my power to get you connected with as many people that are in the industry or company or area that you want to work in. So that's to me what's going to matter, because it only takes one conversation to change your life. It only takes one. So that's my commitment to the winners. So for the people that are in the challenges, and let's say you're not getting your name called, it's not because we don't see you. I see you, and I've made this commitment to the community for those that are the most active and are out there supporting each other the most. I personally will do everything in my power to make sure you're seen.
Should unmute myself. Awesome, Jay. Thanks, man. Thanks for letting us know about that. Well, we thank everybody who got a chance to participate. Our town hall is essentially over. We will have a Q&A though. I think we have a few more minutes for those who want to stay. I know it's at 4 o'clock. We're kind of at time, and we'll kind of open up to the audience. If you have any specific questions regarding whatever, go ahead and you can unmute yourself or raise your hand. Maybe we should do that. There's a lot of people here. Let's raise your hand, and then if you have a question, you don't have to
even comment. Or even comment if there's anything you want to share or something that you want to share with the community. Yeah, feel free. This is a good spot, safe place.
Yeah, I would say networking. You can't say that enough. Networking. I would also say something that I found out is find your direction. You know, figure out the thing you want to be, and it narrows down the information, the information coming in, right? So now you have a direction, you have a place to point, right? And then you start networking within that community, and those people basically give you a shortcut on what your portfolio and your resume should look like because they're already in that industry. I mean, I hope that helps.
Awesome. Yeah. Will's a motivator out there, so you connect with him if he's got time. But Jay, Shelley?
Yeah, just adding on to that, that really spoke to me, the narrowing down where you see yourself and where your direction is. I put it out there this weekend in a meeting I had that I was seeking mentorship in this aspect, in Web3 and regulation law stuff and so on. Reached out to 2 people from that actually reached out to me saying, hey, I can actually connect you with someone who's doing an MBA right now, who's looking into crypto law, who's doing this. And yeah, just I'll pass on your information. We can set something up. And I was like, wow, I was not about to reach out to. I was a bit intimidated because I am the least experienced person in this group that I'm in currently talking about this stuff. But it really just goes to show that you put it out there, you network, and you're not afraid to let people know where you are and your progress. It really works out. So that's all I have to say today.
Yeah, for sure. Awesome, Jay. Thank you. Tristan.
What's going on, everybody? Happy to be here with everybody on here. Just want to say, similar to what my boy Will was saying, it's so important to network. You know, especially being in product management, you see so much emphasis on, you know, mock interviews for like estimation questions and all of that. That's cool and all, but the real mock interview is networking, right? Being able to get on that call with people, being able to tell your story and connect. So the next time there's a role open, you know, you're top of mind, you know, and more importantly, what Jay says, making those established, those genuine connections, not those first interactions. Hey, how's it going? Here's my resume. Take a look at that. You know, but genuinely caring about people, because we're people first, and then software engineers, data analysts, product managers second. So leaning into that, and Mentor Mesh, you really get out of it what you put in. If you go in and you make those connections, you talk to people, there's some awesome people here. It's a great community, and there's some gold, and you will do some damage in your career goals and go to places you never thought you could before. It's all about mindset. And I always tell Jay every time I talk to him, thank you for that mindset shift to think differently. When you're doubting yourself and you're walking into these negotiations and you're thinking, oh, maybe I only get 80K. No, shoot for that limit. Go for it. What's the worst that can happen? So always love connecting with people on here. You know, keep this community is only growing. When people reach out to me for coffee chats and, hey, you have any recommendations? Check out Mentor Mesh. Check it out. Go in there, go try and do a presentation, go fail there, and ask the community how you can get better. So always love this, and looking forward to see what everybody has up their sleeve in the future.
Yeah, if I can piggyback on that, Tristan, me and Tristan work under the same umbrella. They'll let us know if there's looking for a position's open before they let the outside world knows. And so I've even posted things that weren't even listed yet, just because I knew they were looking for these positions, and I had a network group. And so I posted in Mentor Mesh, like, hey guys, here's some entry level position. So that kind of stuff, networking is great for, because again, I don't know how the rest of the people at IBM will let you know internally before they let it know out externally. So.
Yeah, cool. I like what you said, Tristan, too, to come fail here. I love that. Come fail here. People aren't going to get on you. If they get on you, we got that boot button for them. So, all right, next we got Donaldi. Did I say that right?
Yes, Donaldi. Thank you so much. I want to thank everybody for the opportunity to be here and learning from everybody here. When I reached out, I think about almost a few weeks ago, I reached out to Jay on LinkedIn. I said, Jay, I see everything that you're posting. Can you put me on? He shared the link with me automatically. I take a look at it. And I had the opportunity to see the first person in there was Will Ragan. I automatically look him up on LinkedIn. I say, man, you are UX designer. What I want to do is UX design. And then immediately, it was amazing for me to see the speed of how things work. And immediately he opened up his calendar. He says, man, I want to connect with you. And we had a chance to talk we're scheduled for 15 minutes. We ended up talking for almost 45 minutes, pouring to me his story, pouring to me everything that where he is. And what was amazing to me was after the meeting, I was in awe because it was the first time I was so close to the action. Someone inside of the industry, I actually have a conversation with, pointing me in the right direction for my resume, pointing me in the direction for the content. And what you all mentioned here about networking, I just speak with someone live who worked for IBM who's doing UX design. This is not a YouTube video. This is not something I learned in book, but I just speak with him. He says my name. And I was really in awe from that. And since that time, I took his advice, watching video, buying books on UX design. So my goal right now, I work in IT, but my goal right now for this year for me to start working as a UX designer. Second thing that I did, I participated in the design challenge with Nina, and I did the first week. Yeah, so I'm catching up. So I'm gonna be there tomorrow just to continue in that program. And I want to thank this community for being so supportive.
Yeah, man, it's an honor, man. I'm happy. I'm happy to be of help. Anytime.
That's very cool.
Awesome. Thanks, Donaldi. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I wanted to double down real quick on something that Tristan said. You know, you get what you put into it. So sometimes I've run programs. I used to tell people, you know, do this, and this, and then everybody's like, yeah. But then crickets, like nothing happens, right? Or they'll be like, you know, Jay, I wish Jay would do it this way. This should be the way you did. And it made me start thinking, like, think about the way that you respond to things. Think about the way you address ambiguity, right? If you're involved in a process and you don't like it, what do? Do you quit? Do you complain about it? Like, what do you do? Now think about that for a minute, because the way you interact with people within the community, that's the way you work. That's the way you think, right? Think about that for a minute. And so a lot of times, like, I'm purposely very vague because I don't want to tell you what to do. If you guys read my posts, that's the mentality I want you to detach from. If you come to MentorMesh and you're like, I wish we had a program that focused on, you know, I don't know, data management. You know what I would tell you if I was going to tell you anything? Start one. What do you think it means to work in a big corporate company, right? When you start as a product manager or whatever you're doing, right? You have to go influence a bunch of people to do stuff that you're interested in doing because you think it's important. It's not going to be any different. You're going to go to a bunch of people who have other priorities. Can you convince them to come with you? That's influencing without authority. If you think you have a better idea and a better way to do it, go do it. Can you get people in this community to go with you? Because if you can, it's not any different if you work for Microsoft. You're going to work with a bunch of people that already have a full roadmap. Can you convince them to come with you? So when you join a community or anything and you see something that could be improved, that's fantastic. What do you do about it? This community is not mine, it's yours. Now, what I've done is I brought people all into a room. And what are you going to do with that? Many people here are incredibly successful. Many people here will continue to be successful. Many of them are going to see fantastic things in their life, and you're in a room with them. What are you going to do? Complain that they don't come to you? You could, but you're missing an opportunity, right? Now, granted, I don't want to act like a lot of people have this attitude. They don't. But a lot of what I'm trying to say is the way you interact with people, that's the way you work. What do you do when things are complicated and not clear? Can you add clarity? If you think a process is broken, can you fix it? If you think people aren't communicating correctly, can you fix that? Can you influence people you don't have direct management authority over? That is going to be one of the most powerful skills you can have in business, and that is real life. because most big companies are matrixed, which means nobody reports to you. I might lead a 30, 50 person org, but they are not the ones I partner with. It's my engineering counterparts, my design counterparts, my community, my communications, legal, IT. Those are my partners. Those are the ones that I need to execute with in order to be successful, not my team. I lead my team. I help grow my team. I enable my team. But if I want to advance my career, I need to build incredible relationships with people that are allowed to ignore me. So when you're in a part of a community like this, right? I hope people understand that there are going to be dozens and dozens and hundreds of people that could have life-changing impact for you if you're willing to stretch and go meet them. Meet them. Stop saying, some people will say, well, is it worth it? Well, I'm going to have all these one-on-ones. Is it worth it? I don't know. You tell me. Is knowing people and showing your quality to people worth it? If you're looking for a guarantee, I said this in another AMA, career development is not like math. It's not math. It's not if I do these 3 things, I'm guaranteed a great job. That is not, you got to break away from that. If you exhibit the right behaviors and you build community, you will see the results. I can't tell you when, but you will, right? So be the change that you want to see. Take initiative. And like was said a little bit earlier, right? Like, you know, if you don't see something, go do it. If you don't like something, go change it. Because especially in fast-paced tech companies, that's what they need. If you're able and willing and brave enough to do that, you will stand out. Because I'm telling you right now, all the companies that I've been at, there are very few entrepreneurs. There are very few people that know how to think outside of the box still. Because a lot of people come to these companies expecting to just learn, and that's great, you will learn, but you have a perspective. MentorMesh is a great place for you to practice. Can you rally this community? This is already a curated group of people that said, not only am I interested in career development, I'm willing to leave LinkedIn and leave Twitter, come to this new site, attend these meetings, browse the site. This is a curated group of people that say they want to advance their careers. Can you get them to do something with you? Sometimes this is a numbers game. How bad do you want this? But it is that simple. A lot of times, sometimes we try to make it more complicated in our minds. It is that simple. It only takes one connection, one conversation to change your life. And to me, that's why this is so important, because I see so many people out there that are underpaid, but very, very skilled, qualified, that have a ton of potential, but they don't know it. And that bothers me. I was making copies at a copy machine in my late 20s. I didn't know what I was doing with my life. I wish somebody would have told me that I was capable. I wish somebody would have told me that I didn't need those credentials, that I had the ability to be more. And so that's what MentorMesh is about. You have the ability. Like even a lot of you guys that are in tech right now, the reason it's easy for me to say you can double your income, because I know so many people that work at Microsoft that I don't even know how they got there. I don't know how they got there, but I know they're making 240 plus and they don't do anything. Yet I see people in this community that are making 80,000 and lower that are, I would 10 times rather work with them. They would be way more effective. Because people even now, you don't even realize that $80,000 in tech is not money, not even close. Entry-level people make 110, 120, 140, 150 out the gate, but nobody knows that. Why don't people know that? And that's why I'm telling you this, right? Like making 250 in tech is regular. That's not even, that's like, but people don't know that. So you don't know how to ask. Everybody's insecure about asking for more. I'm just telling you, people are out here changing lives. They are living totally different lives, but we don't know it. I don't know why there's this weird thing about compensation, but yes, many of you are going to double and triple your income. And it's not about money. Like for those of you that heard me talk the other day, this is about freedom. This is about choices. This is about enabling your life to do things that you otherwise can't. You don't have to work 40 years. No, you don't. Not in this world.
Got Jill. Is Jill? She got her hand up too.
Yeah.
Hi, it's pronounced Jale. Hi,
Jale, I
everyone.
was gonna say that, man, but
No
man,
worries.
I should have went for it.
No worries at all. Hey everyone, I just wanted to introduce myself. I'm really new to the community. I'm part of the 700 that just came out from January. Really great community so far. I really feel it. This is my first town hall, but I still feel your enthusiasm through like LinkedIn and through MentorMesh.io as well. And just on top of what Jay has said about starting and doing, I was curious to know if there was anything happening in the create a startup group on mentormesh.io. If anyone had any updates on that too. Yeah, just really curious to know.
Yeah, so that's something so we have a group called the MentorMesh Champions Group that we've been trying to reinvigorate. And a lot of that, what I'd like that group to do is to help revitalize some of these other groups. Because what happens is that people will get super excited, all this stuff will happen. But it's interesting because what'll happen is that people will get successful, go get a job, and then go do that. And that's good. That's awesome, right? But then naturally what happens is that some of these groups start to die out, right? So I think this is where I would love to lean on the community and say, what can we do to help revitalize some of these groups? Because sometimes it's about, there's an amount of work that comes with coordinating events and making sure that there's good visibility. But for me, that is one of my top things for this year, is to revitalize the champions group. And that champions group will help to push and wake up some of the other groups, because it is a little bit inconsistent depending on where you are.
Yeah, I was part of, this was a long time ago in MentorMesh, but I was a part of one of the startup groups when I met Beth, Ashley. But what it helped me to do is be able to have that conversation with a dev, be able to have a conversation with a PM that I didn't know at the time, but it was the job that I'm doing now, like being able to communicate with all these teams. So even though the project was slow to get off the ground, the day-to-day of the project was exactly what I'm doing now. So, and I was able to kind of use that knowledge that I gained from joining one of the startups to now apply. And I'm like, oh, I already know how to do this. And I already knew how to have the conversations. And it helped me in the interview too, right? Because once I had the interview and they're asking me if I work with teams, I can actually point to these things and say, hey, I have worked with a dev before. I have worked in GitHub and know what issues look like. So that working on the project is the thing to learn, regardless if it's successful or not. That was more beneficial than actually the completion or the end of the project itself. So.
But I think that's one of the groups too that I think should get one of the most attention. And the reason I say that is because if you don't have experience, you need to go get your own experience. It's funny, I've worked with a lot of people here, and we'll work on projects that maybe some of them end up fading out because people get busy, life happens. But the day-to-day frustration of trying to get a group of people to execute on a project, it's like Will said, it's not any different when you go to IBM or Microsoft, or it's still, you'll hear people talk about herding cats. It is what it feels like. It's not any different when you work for these companies. So even like trying to get a project moving within the MentorMesh community is a great learning experience. And so for people that are motivated, because I guarantee you that if you were to post and start to try to rally a team together to work on a project, you'd find people.
Yeah.
And it would be an interesting experience. It will be a frustrating experience, but it will be a realistic experience too.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks, Will, for the input too. And Michelle, it was next here. You have your hand up.
Yeah, I'm one of those people that kind of disappeared after a while. Hey, but I just want to kind of I piggyback with what Jay and Will said. I got a job at Microsoft, and it's pretty much exactly the same what you have to do. Even though you're an engineer, I'm an engineer, you kind of act like a PM. You kind of have to reduce ambiguity of the project. You have to go dig down design and be like, hey, what does this mean? Can you explain what this button would actually do in this state or whatever it is? And it's also like, I like to think of this as all of this, working with other people and working in companies like this is part of like kind of building your own personal brand. And it's not just about marketing and not just about LinkedIn posts, but being able to see that other people, hey, oh yeah, this person, Michelle, is great to work with. She drills down on the project specifications and requirements and hashes it out with PMs and whatever it is. So networking is great as well, but it also provides other people to show you how like you actually work and people want to actually work with you. So that's it.
Thank you, Michelle. We just miss you. That's why I have to call you out like that. There's
Aww.
people out there just being successful. I'm like, come back.
I'm working on it. I'm working on moving to Washington first. So that's
very cool.
That's on my top of my list at the moment.
Cool. Thanks, Michelle. So got Tara, is your hand up? I apologize if I pronounced that incorrectly.
Nope, you pronounced it perfectly, Tara. Hi, everyone. So I'm new. This is my first mentor meeting mesh. I've been following a lot of people on here for a little bit of time. Basically, what sent me to here and come into these kind of sessions, I've been going to Twitter Spaces the last week or two, meeting with some great people, speaking to some great content and everything, is I've reached the point in my career where I'm ready to mentor others, right? I've reached the point where I've learned my role, I've done my role, I want to teach my role to others. And so my question, of course, I know I'm new, so maybe this, of course, is information somewhere and I'm missing it, and I apologize. But I was wondering what type of like offboarding are we preparing ourselves for when we are ready for that next role? If we're ready to get promoted to a senior, are we trying to backfill our current role with our community that we have here? Are we offering any type of mentorship to come into the role, to invite them into your old team, your old job, however that looks like? And so how does that work here?
I think I need to probably understand your question. So when you're talking about offboarding, that's like if you are in an existing company or.
Yeah, so say I'm going to like, I'm a senior right now. And so then say I'm going to principal next. So I need to backfill my senior role, or I have the opportunity, I know that somebody's going to fill it, right? They're going to repost it. Are we sharing that? What does that process look like here for potentially offering or mentoring somebody into your previous role?
Sure. So as far as like how you can get the mentor mesh community involved, is that what you mean specifically?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I think in general, like, I know it's hard. I know that the ultimate goal that all of us want is really good career growth. Like we want promotions, we want opportunities, we want learning opportunities, all that stuff, right? That's what we want. Typically what I focus on though is more about building relationships and community. And as you get to know people, and as you start to do book clubs and activities, and we're helping each other with our resumes and we're doing all this stuff, I think people naturally will start to understand who they think might be a good fit for a role. And I think as those relationships develop, if there's somebody within the network that you think fits that profile or you feel interested in investing in, please absolutely do that. I would say that there's no process for that. I think that by participating in community events and getting to know people, you start to see people's character. And that's something that I want to, even like I said before, the way we behave and handle ambiguity in the community oftentimes is the way that we would handle it at work too, right? Like whether we dive in and help or whether we just say, never mind. So I think a lot of the ways when you meet people and you network across Mentor Mesh, you're going to see behaviors, you're going to see people that might seem interesting to you. So I'd encourage you to, reach out to them, get to know them. Me personally, Am I going to always try my best to hire people from MentorMesh? Absolutely. You better believe it. I mean, as a hiring manager, like that is the hardest thing, believe it or not, is to find good talent, because it's hard to know whether or not people are good or not. But when you see people, the way that they are and the way that they lift other people up and the way they approach problems and how they are, you can see that in community with people. And so it's kind of like, in a lot of ways, like an inside look for a lot of people. If they come and just check out the community, you get to see what a resume won't tell you. You'll get to see what maybe a LinkedIn profile won't tell you. So for me, I definitely think that, and I've actually had a number of companies actually reach out to me about how they can partner with MentorMesh too, to up-level you. Now, I want to be mindful of that, because what I don't want to do is create a community of people with their hands out, right? You don't want to come to MentorMesh because you think you're just going to get a job. Like that's not it. That's actually the opposite. Like the getting the job happens if you build community. And so I'm trying to focus more on that. Now, that being said, if you have a position that you would like to promote, absolutely. Yeah, you can do that. But I do think that what would be more impactful for MentorMesh is to get to know the community. And that way, when you pull someone to refer them for a job, you know something about them, because I think the type of referrals that are impactful are like the ones where somebody can say, I've been working with this person in whatever capacity, and I really recommend them, versus blind referrals. A lot of people will kind of do blind referrals. I don't expect people to come in and like pull people from MentorMesh and just give them jobs. Like, I would love for people to focus on building community. And I think that what everyone will see is that the job opportunities start to naturally happen. That's my 2 cents, but that's kind of what I was thinking.
Cool. That's fire, Jay. Nice. Leighton, what's up, man? Got your hand up.
I want to introduce myself really quick. My name is Leighton Pennicott, and I heard about MentorMesh through my brother, Tristan Pennicott. They're these handsome men over there. But essentially, what I'm really looking for a community. That's really what it is. Analytical community. I'm a data analyst, and I'm looking to kind of build a camaraderie, people to speak to about data analysis. And it'd be a great bonus if we get some other sorry, my little girl is in here. Some help with little girls that like to yell a lot. So I'm a dad, I'm a data analyst, and I'm looking for like-minded people. Just want to give a shout out to Crucial Conversations. I love the book as well. Read it, I think, about 3 times so far, but I look forward to see this community grow and growing with it.
Yeah, it's great to have you here, man. Tristan, thanks for inviting your family. That's good. And you want some girl dad advice? I got 4 girls, so I can tell I've raised 2 15-year-olds, 3 9-year-olds, and 4 2-year-olds. So I got a little bit of experience. 1 19-year-old. So they don't get any easier. I met somebody the other day who had 4 kids, and they were all under 6. And I was like, wow. And he was like, yeah. He goes, but your kids, as they get older, they must be so much more helpful. I said, I've got teenagers. What are you talking? I said, no, like, I'm sorry. It's not going to get easier. They're going to be more work. Anyway, great to have you here.
And so I add one thing about being a PM. I just joined PayPal 5 months ago. I can say that data skills is one of the most important skills in PM. Like it's quite underrated. Like we don't really know what data means, but being able to look across raw data, be it structured, unstructured, rows, columns, whether it's just Excel spreadsheets or things like that. But being able to make sense of raw data and able to massage it, analyze it, and make sense out of the data is a very key skill PM. I just want to call it out.
Absolutely agree with that.
Cool. Well, great. Thanks for everybody showing. Anybody else got? It's your chance. You got any questions or comments or anything? We'd love to hear it. But
I just wanna add something. I'm a data analyst too, and I'm happy to connect with anyone who wants to, like, So right now I'm sending LinkedIn request to Lee. So I'll connect with you, and I'm more than happy to connect with anyone here too. That's all.
Yep. And it's interesting too. Remember, mentorship and coaching, that is leadership. So the more senior you get in your role, your job is to lift people up. That is literally what you do. So for many of you that are looking to advance your career, if I had to define leadership, that's what it is. It's mentoring and coaching. So practice now. And you'd be surprised how that translates into leadership skills that will start to come out in your day-to-day work by practicing that now. If you have the opportunity to teach and help people, thank you Pratik for offering that. That's leadership.
Yeah, no worries. And actually, I learned from you too, like, because last time when we had this chat, I actually updated my LinkedIn and added something that, okay, I'm more than happy to help you who is trying to break into data industry, because I did that after 8 to 9 months of, like, rigorous process. So it's just like, I'm giving back to community in that way.
Awesome.
wonderful. Well, thanks everybody. Anything else you got to say, Jerry? You want to close it out? Look forward to next month. We might do some like networking and whatnot, but probably hear more about that next month.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'd like to do these monthly. I think, as long as I've been running Mentor Mesh, when I think about the things that people enjoy the most, it really is also the networking. Not only is it the most important part, but it's also the way that you build relationships, and those relationships are going to help carry you throughout your career. So we're going to try to do these events probably every month. We're going to talk about wins. If you got something you want to share, please share it, because your enthusiasm and sharing wins and losses help motivate people to do better, to not quit, to keep going, right? Success is a choice. I 100% believe that. It's not, when people say I'm not smart enough, that's you giving someone else power and saying it's not in your control. It is in your control. There's no such thing as I'm not able and I'm not capable. That's not true. I think a lot of people use that to give themselves an excuse to step away. But it's not true. You have to make a choice. People in big tech companies are not smarter than you. And even if they were, outwork them. I'm a firm believer in that, because fortunately for us, most people are pretty lazy. So there's your advantage then. But yeah, I hope you guys could show up, get to know each other, reach out, be proactive, right? This community can be fantastic, and it will be fantastic if you put the work in. Don't stand on the sidelines, take risks, try stuff. If one person doesn't reply, try someone else. There's people on this call, they reach out, they speak up. They're the ones especially, right? They are putting themselves out there, so reach out to them first. Build those relationships, care about other people, show up consistently. People in the community will notice you. And when opportunities come up, they will naturally remember you. That is how this works. So I hope you guys continue to be consistent. You show up every month if you can. We will be sharing the recording for sure. But this is a great way for people to see your face, so that when you do reach out, they're like, okay, I know who that is. I saw them at the last town hall. And if you got ideas, if you want to do a startup yourself, if you want to find a group, go out there, post, see if you can get some people to rally around you. Reach out to people, right? Reach out to people that are active. See what you can do. Your ability to do that, that's going to help you in your career, and it's going to help you now. But thank you, everybody. I hope everybody has a great weekend. Thank you for joining us on a Friday. But yeah, hopefully we'll do this every month. We'll get to check in. If you got wins, if there's anything you want to talk about, reach out to me or reach out to Bronze. Let's keep it up. Web3 group, let's do it. Adele, good to see you. But yeah, I hope everybody has a good weekend.
Yeah, thanks everyone for showing up. Have a good weekend. Have a good evening.
Bye, everyone.
Have a great weekend, everybody.
Take care.
Take care.
Bronze, great
Enjoy.
job, Bronze.
Stay safe.
Shout out the Bronze.
Great weekend,
Come on.
Alex.
Appreciate it.
The best host ever.
Thanks, Jay. What do you say?